For more on this, let's bring back Danny Coulson, former FBI Deputy Assistant Director, also former commander of the Bureau's hostage rescue team. This is a guy who apparently had no criminal record, investigators are saying. Danny, how do you anticipate something like this happening?
Unfortunately, you don't. You have to prepare not to find this guy, but to protect yourself in case he shows up. I know that sounds kind of bleak, but these guys, if they don't commit a crime, the FBI is very limited in what they can do with domestic terrorism investigations. It's all controlled by the Attorney General of the United States, and they're limited in what they can do. And if somebody doesn't come forward and say, I think this guy's going to do something, or he doesn't trip up someplace, it's very difficult to find these guys. So you have to prepare for it, and you don't have to be paranoid, but you need to get ready.
I read some of the rantings on that website that Garrett was just telling us about, a lot of anti-Semitic stuff. Is that kind of thing enough to draw the attention of the FBI? I mean, if somebody who had corresponded with him had said, I think you guys should take a look at this, would the FBI have done so?
If they were taking a look at it, but it has to be some kind of a threat. It has to be some kind of indication that he's going to violate the law. I mean, it's okay to be anti-Semitic. It's morally not okay. It's repugnant, but you have a right to not like anybody. And the AG guidelines guarantee First Amendment protected activity. And it's very, very difficult. And we've talked a lot tonight about getting ready. And I think that we have to protect ourselves. Remember this, the police are only minutes away, but seconds matter. And you have to be ready to take care of yourself. And that's really important, especially if you're a minority group or you're a church group or you have a school. All those places need to be ready for these types of situations.
And as we mentioned earlier, the police did a spectacular job in responding quickly and taking this guy down.
Yeah, they did, and kudos to them. But you know what? It seems like they do this every day in our country. We are very blessed to have the best law enforcement in the world, and they're courageous, and they're dedicated. And remember, you and I'd probably be running away. They're running in, and I think that's very significant.
So in the Attorney General is saying that this is likely going to be a federal trial, and it will likely be a death penalty trial. Why would the feds take over here when, the state of Pennsylvania or the city of Pittsburgh could do the same thing?
Well, they'll work that out. I think, very frankly, I think the federal court system is a lot more efficient. They have all the resources in the world, and they'll put millions of dollars in this thing in order to solve it. But that'll be decided between the state of Pennsylvania and the United States Attorney for the District of Pennsylvania. So it doesn't really matter. The FBI has a lot of resources. The biggest resource they have are their evidence recovery teams. They're going to go in and do the crime scene, and they're the best in the world at that. And so I think if you're going to have the FBI do it, just go ahead and try it in federal court. There'll be a lot of police officers will be the witnesses in that thing. They'll be heavily involved, and it's a joint effort. And we're all Americans, and let's get on the same sheet of music and put this guy away and hopefully execute him.
And your advice is that places of worship like this might want to think about armed security guards.
And getting ready, active shooter plans, absolutely. It sounds like in this one, John, this is important, that people were able to barricade themselves, and that's really important because you're trying to buy time. These guys are hyped up on adrenaline or something else, and they can only keep this level of activity so long. And if you can barricade, get time for yourself, and get space between the bad guy and you, you're ahead of the game. You're probably going to survive it.
Danny Coulson, former Deputy Assistant Director at the FBI. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.